सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां दयाकरं दयाकारं दान्तं धर्मप्रवर्तकं प्रणमामि दयानन्दं मदाचार्यवरं परम् ॐ सहना भवतु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Yesterday we saw that this consciousness, Pratyagatma, that which has been described right at the beginning as that which powers the ear and powers the mind, powers the eyes. That power which operates the ear, and that power was also described further as Anyadeva tad viditat, other than what is known. Avititat adhi, above what is unknown. So if something is neither known nor unknown, it has to be you. How? How it has to be me? Because it means that which is the knower of both the unknown and the known. That's the only other possibility. No other possibility is there. Knower is again within apostrophes. The one in whose presence all that which is known comes to light, and in whose presence all that which is unknown also what? Comes to light. Who is that? Yes, finally. Yeah. You. Can't be anybody else. You can't say, oh, let me look for that person. There is nobody else, it is you. In whose presence everything known comes to light. I mean, just ask yourself a simple question, do I know everything that I know? Hello, show me one sign of life at least. Yeah? Do you know everything that you know? Ayyo, yeah. Do you know that you know a few things? Yes. Do you know that you don't know a few more things? Yes. That is what is meant, that which is neither known nor unknown, but in which light of which consciousness, which is you, in whose awareness that which is known shines as known, and that which is unknown also shines as known. Very interesting. That's why we say Chit, that Chit, which is I, alone is Sat. That is what is going to be, because the connection is with Chit. Satyam Jnanam Anantam, that Jnanam makes it a Mahavakya. That is why the next verses will repeat this Mahavakya many times. Like I said, gave the example of Etad Vaitat in the Kathopanishad and in the Taittiriya Upanishad also. Tad Sa Atma Tvamasi Shvetaketo. Tat Sat Sa Atma Tvamasi Shvetaketo Tattvamasi. That Tattvamasi is repeated 9 times. Why? Shvetaketu keeps requesting more instruction. Bhuya eva bhagavan vijñapayatu. Please repeat this again. It's so wonderful to hear. I didn't know this. Please tell me again. Still, some doubts are there. Please tell me. Whatever the reason, he asks for 9 times. 9 times. Here also 4 or 5 times this Mahavakya is repeated. And what makes this a Mahavakya? Tadeva brahmatvam vidhi. This is the refrain. Na idam yadidam upasate. And what is this tat? This tat is not anything but you. Why is the tat you? The tat means that. That which was described as that which is that awareness because of which hearing takes place. That is what? You. That awareness is you, and you are here equated to Brahman, Mahavakya. The Mahavakya always is like an equation. An equation cannot be orange is equal to orange. Is that an equation? No. Anybody says that, then that you think they are slightly mad. Because that cannot be an equation, because it is obvious. That which is obvious is obviously not an equation. So what is an equation? An equation is that which looks different but has an underlying identity. The differences are there, the obvious differences are there, but then there is an underlying identity that has to be discovered. An underlying identity that needs to be discovered, which is there, latent. It is not evident immediately, but it has to be discovered. You have to resolve the differences to know the identity. Like, for example, if you tell a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, what will you tell? 5 plus 4 is equal to 20 minus 11. The child will freak out. What? Single digits one side, plus sign one side, on the other side what? Double digits, minus sign. How can the two be the same? And a big equal to sign in the thing. The child, let's say, takes the easy way out and tells the teacher, "Teacher, I have full Shraddha in you. I believe you." No, that's not going to work. Here, the child has to be made to see what the teacher already knows. So each side has to be resolved. So 5 plus 4, you have to actually do the math. The child may be doing it with her fingers. That's okay. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 4. Oh, let me count all over again. 9. And there again the minus has to be done. And then the minusing has to be done from that side, and then this side also. Let's say the 5 plus 4 side is Tvam Pada Vichara. And through the potato harvesting method, what is the potato harvesting method? Pluck and beat the potatoes on the roadside, so that whatever is non-potato in the form of other roots and dirt is shaken off. So you harvest the potatoes and beat them right there. Before washing them, you just beat them. Big clods of earth will go away. The clumps of earth sticking to the potatoes will go away, and so all the non-potato goes away. This has to be done on the Tvampada side. What goes away from the I side, from the Tvampada side? What goes away? Body goes away. Why? Because we are looking for the invariable. Everything that's variable goes away. What about the mind? It's already gone away. Okay? Even before it was talked about, it has gone away. Senses, gone away. Senses go away, mind, in my reckoning. Okay? Mind goes away, senses go away, body goes away, notions, I am a karta, I am a bhokta, go away. In other words, all the 5 areas of error, panchakosha, that we are studying in Viveka Chudamani, all of them go away. And then what is left? Invariable consciousness, awareness. which the Upanishad describes as Satchidananda. Then on the other side, which is basically 20 minus 11, same thing has to be done. That is Tat Pada Anveshanam, an inquiry into Tat. There also the beating of the potatoes take place. From Ishvara, what can be taken away? Maya Shakti can be taken away. The ability to project the universe, to sustain the universe, and to resolve the universe can be taken away. Okay? Cognitively. We can't do this really. This is a cognitive exercise. What else can be taken away? The epithet, ruler of the universe, can be taken away. From Ishvara, Ishvaratvam is taken away. Ishvaraness, Ishvarahood, that which makes Ishvara, Ishvara. All the abilities and the 6 bhagas. What are the 6 bhagas? We discussed this in 3 lifetimes ago at the beginning of the course. Okay? 6 bhagas. What are the 6 bhagas? Samagram Aishwaryam, overlordship, total overlordship, total power, the total samarthyam, viryam, the ability to create, sustain and take back the universe, total balam, strength, total jnanam, all knowledge, samagra shrihi, all resources, and samagram yashas, complete fame. All these things we discussed as that which makes Bhagavan, Bhagavan. Bhagaha asya asti iti Bhagavan. That the one who is endowed with these 6 bhagas is called what? Bhagavan. So the bhagas are taken away. What remains? Only one remains. And that one is consciousness, Satchidananda. So this is what one has to do. Harvest the potatoes from the Tvam Pada side. Non-potato is left out, and here also from the Tat Pada side, all the non-potato is Satchidananda. Okay? Yeah. Don't go and tell everybody else that. What did you study in class today? Potato is Satchidananda. Then no one will apply for future courses. This is a very contextual statement. Okay? We can't take it out of context. So, that which remains is Satchidananda. What is it that remains? Awareness, consciousness. And that's how the Mahavakya operates. So, you see the similarity, and not similarity, you see the identity after taking away that which really doesn't belong to that identity. So, Satchidananda is there, and that which is not intrinsic to Satchidananda is body. Body is not intrinsic to Satchidananda. Mind is not intrinsic to Satchidananda. Sense is not intrinsic. Your sense of kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam, I am a doer, I am an agent of action, I am a recipient of other people's actions, all this karta, bhokta, not part of Satchidananda, not intrinsic to Satchidananda. What is intrinsic to consciousness is just awareness, pure awareness, unconditioned by body, mind, sense complex. So deha and manaha, all these things do not feature there. There is no avacchinnatvam, there is no as though conditioning. This is unconditioned consciousness, not even as though conditioned by the body, mind, sense complex. And on the other side also we have the same thing. Ishvaratvam is mithya. Jivatvam, jivahood is mithya. Don't say Ishvara is mithya. Ishvara, jiva, one and the same. Ishvara when you say consciousness. Jiva when you say consciousness. Jivatvam is the mantle by which the jiva adopts this identity for itself. All that goes into jivahood is all these things. Identification with the body, mind, sense complex. And there an identification with the ignorance also. Taking on the ignorance as myself. This is the problem. And then on the Tatpada side also, what happens there was the identification with Maya Shakti, that also can be seen as mithya, dependent reality. All that is dependent on consciousness can be cognitively elided, removed. This is just exactly like E equals mc squared or any other equation. When you look at this energy, matter, what do they have to do with one another? One is gross, one is subtle, but yet there is a equal sign. And that equation has to be resolved. In the same way, this equation is resolved, and the resolution of that equation finally points to who? Me. The truth of this equation is me. This is how the jiva is equated to Ishvara, and of course, saying that one time, it goes overhead like a plane, makes a lot of noise, that's all. So therefore, it begs a repetition. Repetition is not punarukti, it is not redundant, the fallacy of redundancy. It is called vipsa, and it is allowed in a teaching situation. The Upanishad, of course, is a teaching situation, being in the form of dialogue, and so this is a Mahavakya. Tadev, what is a Mahavakya? Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi. What is this Tat? Consciousness. That consciousness which was described as the one, the awareness, because in whose presence the eyes function, in whose presence the ears function, which is invariable, which is the invariable presence in every cognition. That's going to be told in further down in the coming sections. Which is the invariable presence in every cognition. In every cognition, like supposing I say, this is flower. Lovely arrangement here, beautiful. So if I say this is flower, in the flower cognition, what is there in the flower cognition? Object flower is there, and me, drashta, seer of the flower, knower of the flower is there. So the known is there in every cognition, and the knower is also there. So the known keeps changing, because right now I'm looking at the flower, and now I'm looking at the microphone. Now I'm looking at the table. Now I'm looking at the ceiling. I'm staring at the ceiling. So therefore, the object of awareness, in other words, the object of consciousness keeps changing throughout the day, does it not? Yes. But what about the knower? Knower also keeps changing, because now I am flower knower, then I become glasses knower, then I become Upanishad knower, and then I become table knower. So the knower also keeps changing. So in every cognition, there is the variable element. Variable element means what? That which goes on changing throughout the day. But then there is something that is invariable. And what is that that is invariable? The content of the knower is invariable. That which morphs into the knower, that here always means awareness. That awareness which morphs, as it were, it does not really morph, as though lends its existence to become, quote unquote, become the knower, and the same consciousness lends its existence to appear as the known without being either knower or known, or the means of knowledge which bridges the knower and the known. This is very important to understand. Very, very important. Do you want me to repeat it? Yes. Okay. So in every cognition, there are variable and invariable elements, aspects. So what is the variable aspect? Variable means changes all the time. The object of cognition is changing. So the object of every vritti is changeable, because obviously I am not going to keep on staring at the same thing all day long. So the one that is that consciousness which is as though conditioned by this body-mind-sense complex, which is what we are talking about here, negating each thing, and then this consciousness, as though conditioned by the body-mind-sense complex, goes about its day looking at various things, coming into contact with various manifestations, and so the object of awareness is always changing. The subject, which is the knower, also keeps changing because there is a different knower in relation to each thing. What do you mean there is a different knower? There is a slight change. So if you know something small and insignificant, you don't feel proud or you don't feel particularly happy. But if you know something very important, you have resolved some big thing and you have discovered something big, the chest puffs up and says, yes, I am the knower of this, I am the discoverer of this, I am the discoverer of this new thing. There is a certain identification. So the knower also might keep changing in relation to what is known. The known, of course, keeps changing. What doesn't change is the awareness. The awareness, aka consciousness, cannot change, does not change, is impossible to change. That is what we call the invariable. So, that which morphs into the thinker, morphs means changes. It does not change into the thinker. It, as though, appears as the thinker. And then, even though I say and then, there is no time gap. At the same time, it morphs as though into the object of consciousness. So this awareness, we call it Shuddha Chaitanya, pure awareness. Pure awareness is always pure, but why do we have to use the word pure? Shuddha Chaitanya we use so that we understand it is unconditioned by the status of knower or known. It is neither subject nor object. It is me. It is awareness itself which morphs into the knower, which morphs into the known, which morphs into the vritti that connects the knower and the known. The vritti here is means of knowledge. And so in this oceanic, limitless consciousness, we have the wave called knower, a wave called known, and a wave called knowledge, means of knowledge. Pramata wave, Pramana wave, Prameya wave. These are all various waves in this ocean. The ocean is the ocean opposed to the waves. Is the ocean opposed to the waves? No. Waves do not compete with the ocean. In fact, the ocean sustains the wave, gives rise to the wave, sustains the wave, resolves the wave. And so everything in this thought process, and see, no other Upanishad defines and looks into the thought process with such precision and clarity. We are very grateful to this for that. So in every thought process, if we splice it carefully, we have three elements, three aspects are there. We begin with two because that's easy to understand. But actually there are three. What are they? Object of knowledge, very easy. You know, flower, book, paper, pencil, table, etc. Object of knowledge. And the second one, the witness, the subject of knowledge, the knower. And then that which connects the knower and the known, which is the means of knowledge. If there is a sound, it's the ear. And so all three are what? All three are mithya. They are all dependent on this awareness, this consciousness, this Shuddha Chaitanya, without which there is no cognition possible. This is what is meant, Tadeva Brahma. Tat eva Brahma. That awareness alone is Brahman. Tvam vidhi. You must know this. You must know that you as awareness, unconditioned by this body-mind-sense complex, you alone are this Brahman. There is no other Brahman outside of Atma. Atma alone is Brahman. And so the Pratyagatma means the inner, the innermost, we can say, the innermost obtaining awareness as I, as the definition of the word I, aham, is equated to Brahman. What is this Brahman? Jagat Karanam Brahma Ishvara. How? We already saw. Potato harvesting method. That's what it is. So this is the way the Mahavakya has to be understood. There is no other way of understanding. Fortunately, in this Upanishad, many such opportunities are presented to understand this. Next one. Na tatra chakshur gacchati, na vag gacchati, na umanaha, न विद्मो न विजानीमः यथैतदनुशिष्यात् अन्यदेव तद्विदितात् अथो अविदिताद् अधि इति शुश्रुमपूर्वेषाम् येनस्तद्व्याचचक्षिरे यद्वाचा नभ्युदितं येन वाग् अभ्युद्यते. And this we can do together. Tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate yan manasana manute. No, last line we can do together. Yan manasana manute. येनाहुर्मनोमतं तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदमुपासते यच्चक्षुषा न पश्यति येन चक्षुंषि पश्यति तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदमुपासते यत् Chakshusha na pashyati. The previous one we saw, right? Yenahur manomatam. Did we see the previous one? No? 5 we did not do? Okay. Well, we just did. Just now, whatever I did is the 5th one. Okay? So, it was done without knowing that it was done, because that which is not known by the mind, that because of which the mind and the process of cognition is known. We just saw that in detail. Okay? Tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate yat manasana manute. That which is not. Yesterday also we saw that, because I talked about the Kenopanishad 1 and reconciled the so-called contradiction, where in the Kenopanishad it says manasa eva idam aptavyam. So the mind, it is to be known by the mind. Here the mind has no business knowing this as an object. So that means what? The mind is not the agent of the knowledge. It is a place where the knowledge takes place. The mind is an instrument of knowledge. So you can bring in the third case here. Karana Karaka, the mind is a Karana. That's why it's called Antah Karana, inner instrument. The mind is a Karana. Or you can say the mind is as though a location where the Chidabhasa is there, where the consciousness can be reflected. Both are okay. Manasa, and Manasi. So here this has to be understood. This has to be understood. The mind is not the agent of knowledge. The mind is not the manufacturer of this knowledge, because this knowledge is not manufactured. It cannot be manufactured. It already is. It has to be discovered. And that's why I keep saying Atma Jnanam takes place despite you being there, not because of you. No credit. No credit to the Ahankara. Why? Because the Ahankara has to be tied up and gagged and bound and kept somewhere until this knowledge takes place. Because the mind has to be in the service of this knowledge. It cannot be the other way around. The mind has to be in service of this knowledge. The mind cannot be, they cannot gloat and say, I know this knowledge. Because this is what we talked about yesterday. I saw, I came, I saw, I conquered. This vritti cannot be there for this knowledge, because there is nothing to conquer. There is nothing to conquer, and the you that is being talked about by the Upanishad is not something to grasp as an object, by which the mind itself is conquered, by which the mind itself is observed, by which consciousness, the mind is grasped. That is what is Brahman, that is you. That consciousness alone is you. So whole of this is Pratyagatma Siddhi, the understanding that this awareness is first, we understand this awareness is connected to me. Then as it becomes more subtle, the understanding resolves into this awareness is nothing but myself, upon which as though is superimposed the body-mind-sense complex. So I am awareness plus the body. I am awareness plus the mind. What kind of a plus is it? It's infinity plus 1. What is that? Infinity. Infinity plus 3. Body, mind, sense. Infinity. Infinity minus 2. Infinity. It is that kind of a plus. It's just a value added plus. The plus is just nama rupa, word and meaning. That's all the plus is. The plus is not anything else. So the plus can come, the plus can go, plus can become minus, plus can change into a multiplication sign, plus can change into a division sign. No change is there for infinite consciousness, which is me. We can just play with the multiplication, we can play with the tables, we can play with the mathematical symbols, plus, minus, multiply, divide, square root, all these things. We can just play. The calculator is of no use when we are talking of infinity. Calculator is of zero use. So in the same manner, here also we have to understand this very, very properly. So that which comes and goes is not counted. Why? Because of two reasons. Because it comes and goes, it is changing, it is variable, it is an object of my awareness, it's an object. The second reason is because it is mithya. It is dependent on awareness. All the things that we are talking about, the mind, the body, the jakshu, the shrotram, all these things are dependent upon awareness. Awareness is independent of everything else. Even my knowledge is dependent upon awareness, knowledge of so many things, discrete objects in the universe, and then the knowledge of my ignorance is also dependent on awareness. Everything is dependent on awareness, and we can't ask the question, what does awareness depend on? What does it depend on? Nothing. Because otherwise we'll have to bring in one more awareness, and we don't have the time for that. So therefore, yat manasana manute yena manishinaha, the sages, ahuhu, they say the mind itself is known because of which consciousness, because of which awareness. I know the workings of the mind. I know when the mind works. I know when when the mind is not working. Now there is a new expression. I have brain fog. Yeah. Yeah, it's because when I wake up, it's just like how it is outside in the morning. Outside how it is by Gangaji, foggy. Inside also, brain fog. New expressions. We are very creative. So therefore what? I can't come to class. Why? I have brain fog. Keep the fog in your room and come to class. Yeah, that is my solution. Yeah. I don't want to see the fog. I want to see only brains. Okay? So, how do you know you are not the brain fog? How do you know you have brain fog? That you bring to class. Okay? Yeah. That which is aware that there is brain fog, bring that awareness. That's what it is. Yeah. And so, then, What else? So this is, so going forward, this is not an excuse to remain in the room. Okay, I have brain fog is no longer an excuse. It has been just marked wrong. Okay, so then yat chakshusha na pashyati, that which the eyes do not see, that which cannot be seen through the eyes. Yena chakshumshi, chakshumshi means again plural, eyes, pashyati, there is a subject, object, verb and subject disagreement. It should have been pashyanti, chakshumshi, plural. But here it is Vedic license, all right. Yeah, you can't write like this. Yeah, Lalita ji will mark you wrong. Okay, yeah, Veda can write this, all right. Yeah, so it should have been chakshumshi pashyanti. So therefore, Tikakara, Anandagiri converts it into yena chakshurindriyam pashyati. Then singular is the chakshurindriyam, you have made it into singular. So like this, so that which cannot be seen by the eye, but by which consciousness, which means what? You, that consciousness, that awareness which the eyes are able to see, that alone, that consciousness, that awareness alone is Brahman. Not that which people worship, not an object of worship. This is very important. The object of worship, it has to include you. If the object of worship does not include you, then it is not okay, because then there is always still this duality. If the worship excludes you, then that means you have left out the most important item, which is yourself. The vastu is not there, and that vastu is the truth of the object of worship and the worshipper. This has to be understood. If this is not understood, then authority issues take over. Disbelief takes over. And what else? Because this is not a matter of belief, this is something to see. It is obvious, because that consciousness is you, it is you, you are awareness, it's very obvious. Immediately you can see that you are the observer of everything, including your own body-mind-sense complex. And this you, as awareness, is being equated to the cause of the universe. There is no hierarchy here. There is no worshipper-worshipped divide. In fact, the Upanishad goes out of this way to obliterate the worshipper-worshipped divide. And so, why does this divide exist? Because everybody is looking for somebody to save. So first, one doesn't look to Bhagavan as savior. One looks to the significant other. What happens? The significant other disappoints. Yeah, and then the child looks to its parents to save it from every fear and everything. The parents cannot do that. Even physically, emotionally, it's not possible. How can the parents keep the child safe? Even if they are the most doting parents, they cannot do that. What to talk of dysfunctional parents? Even functional parents cannot be inside the mind of the child and find out where it is feeling afraid and all these things. It's not possible. So the child is left there feeling afraid and then sees the parents as what? Uh-oh, they let me down. They have let me down. They cannot be the savior. And the whole life is the sadhaka, the seeker keeps on looking for an object to be saved. Are you my savior? Are you my savior? Are you my savior? Sometimes it's an object, sometimes it's a person, sometimes it's a place, sometimes it's a thing, whatever it is. It's a situation. One keeps looking, and then constantly feeling disillusioned, disenchanted, disappointed, and then finally, through some people, one hears, oh, there is such a thing called Bhagavan. Not available for sight, not available for anything, not available for objectification, but is there. Other traditions will tell you it is a he. And where is he? What does he look like? No. He is formless, no form. But it's a he. And where is this he? Sitting somewhere in heaven. Where is this heaven? Somewhere you go. If you believe in this God, you will go there after you die. Well, my belief is not that strong. If I don't believe, what will happen? You will go to the other place, unnameable place. You will go to the other place if you don't believe. So, and even in our own tradition, we have all these things. You go to Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is what? Yeah, Vishnu. Where you are happy, you enjoy a kind of a temporary moksha. Whether you have moksha or not, other people have moksha without you, okay? Yeah. So, you enjoy a temporary moksha called Sayujya, oneness with Bhagavan for a short while. Samipya, nearness with Bhagavan. Like this, there are 3-4 types of moksha that is there. Even in our own tradition, we have these kind of things, impossible things. They are okay to believe if you want to believe. But it is non-verifiable. How do you verify that there is a place called Vaikuntha? And that's the address of Vishnu. In fact, he has a domain name, vishnu@vaikunt.org. You know, he has an email address and a domain name. You know, how do I get there? Well, read the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Description of this domain, the residence of Bhagavan is given. Natad bhasayate suryo, na suryaha tatra bhasayate. Means the sun does not shine. Oh, nice, moonlit, nice place, cool. Na shashankaha, no moon is also there, no moonlight is there. Oh, little torches, candlelight dinner with Bhagavan. Na pavakaha, no candles. Ayyo, it must be pitch dark, no source of light. Already the jiva is going puk, puk, puk. Do I want to go there? The jiva's heart has turned into an instant chicken. And then, do I want to go there? One is asking oneself. And then it says, Yad gatva na nivartante. Once you go there, you don't come back. No, I don't want this kind of a Vaikuntha. If you take it on the surface level, this is what the meaning that is obtained. But still, all these things, we will see the truth of this when we come to the 15th chapter, so don't worry about it now. It just means that place is well lit by the light of consciousness. It doesn't need any other light to show itself. That which is always lit, that which always is in the form of the revealer, what light does it need? That is the Dhama, the place of Bhagavan. That consciousness is described as Bhagavan beautifully in the 15th chapter, and here too the same idea is reiterated. If I keep looking for a savior, then I become a victim. I become a victim. Because two things are there immediately. What is there? First thing, I'm looking for a savior. I want somebody to save me, and I feel incomplete without this savior. Somebody has to pluck me and take me out of this samsara. And then second is that the feeling is of victimhood. Victimhood means I'm nobody, I can't do these things for myself, I need somebody else. Vedanta slaps those feelings out immediately. There is no room for this save me mentality in Vedanta, because you are never enslaved in order to be saved. Only if you are enslaved, you need to be saved. If you are bound, you need to be saved. Na bandho na moksha. There is no bondage. There is no moksha. This is the truth. There is no bondage. The bondage is notional, and the freedom is also what? Notional. The notions have to come in, sit in order. They have to be corrected. And so, the interim Bhagavan in the form of Ishta Devata, the one endowed with qualities of all-knowingness, omnipotence, omniscience, etc., is accepted as an interim, cleansing process for the sake of preparing for this knowledge. No other reason. It is like for a person who has some kind of a leg injury. Both the legs are injured. What does the doctor say? Crutches. Crutches. Use the crutches so that you can walk about. You can enjoy the fresh air. Go take the crutches. And then 4 weeks later, the person is asked to go to the doctor, and she goes, and the doctor says, oh, the healing is taking place very well. In fact, the left leg is almost healed. Now you need only 1 crutch. 2 crutches are not needed. And after 2 more weeks, again for the final checkup, the person goes and he is told, what? No need for this crutch also. Does the person sit and weep? Oh, my crutches have been taken away from me. No. It's a cause for jubilation. It's a cause for celebration. But what do you tell the hard-headed person who says, if the whole point is to be without crutches, why should I have crutches now? I'm going to manage without crutches. You can't manage without crutches. You need the crutches. Even to go to bathroom, you need the crutches. You can't manage without the crutches. So the Bhagavan in the first portion of the Veda described as that which is the source of everything, including your own karma, is an interim reality, like the crutches, upon which I am told to rely completely as the last frontier of duality. I am told to relate to this Bhagavan, and I am told to rely on this Bhagavan, because relying on everybody else, where has it got me? To a place of distrust, to a place of mistrust. That's where it has got me. So I am told to rely on this Bhagavan, because this Bhagavan will not disappoint, because ultimately it is you. So I am told, because I am identified as a jiva, identified with the body-mind-sense complex, identified with my beliefs, identified with my small knowledge, identified with my ignorance, and therefore I am told to seek the whole, immerse myself in the whole. Let the limitations drop off by immersing them into the ocean of limitlessness, I am told. And then what is born is the devotee. The desperate devotee is born out of this encounter. The one that was needing to be saved is now having an avenue for this. And then can pray till the heart, to pray one's heart out. Please save me, please help me, please do this, please do that. Ask for whatever you want, because it is converted into a prayer. And that prayer again brings the karma of fulfilling it, fulfilling those wishes. Somebody said, you know what, Bhagavan does not answer all prayers. No, all prayers are answered. Sometimes the answer is no, or not yet. We have to accept that. And so as long as this charade between the devotee and the object of devotion continues, it can be allowed to continue, because it is also within the mithya. Then comes a time when I am ready for this knowledge, ready to balance on myself without the crutches. The crutches are thrown away, and then even though I feel like I cannot walk without help, gingerly I put one foot forward, then the other foot, then I see that I can walk. That is the ultimate bhakti. Resolving these differences is the ultimate bhakti. But this ultimate understanding does not come without the interim upasana, prayer, meditation, immersion into the whole from the standpoint of this helpless, hopeless, hapless jiva. The helpless, hopeless, hapless jiva surrenders to this entity called Bhagavan for the time being, until the jivatvam is ready to go away. And that is what is pointed out, na idam yadidam upasate. What is the ultimate teaching here? This Brahman is not what you keep on your altar. What you keep on your altar should alter you. After it has altered you, then it doesn't really have a purpose. It's like the crutch. That which you keep on your altar should include you. That's why even Mahatmas and Jnanis do puja. They don't do puja for themselves. Like all the Shankaracharyas are very big on puja. And some of them are broadcast also live. Sharada, Devi Puja, all these pujas, these Kanchi Mat, Sringeri Mat Acharyas, all the Acharyas do the puja. For whose sake? For our sake. To model this interim resolution of all of one's issues, mommy issues, daddy issues, distrust issues, fear issues. Where are you going to take them? You have to take them to the altar of surrender, otherwise there is no resolution for them. And so you have to do this by daring to trust again and placing the trust in the infallible. We don't say Bhagavan is infallible. This is a setup. If I say God is infallible, it's a setup. Why? Because today my ragadveshas are fulfilled, so Bhagavan, yes, you are infallible. Tomorrow, somebody else got the laddu and I was left with just some holy water, tirtham. When I went, the laddus ran out, then that means what? You are fallible, you did not give me laddu. Therefore, we have to make the statement stand on its head. That which is infallible is Bhagavan. Wherever you see something which I cannot change, which you cannot change, which is exactly how it is supposed to be, that is Bhagavan. Infallible is Bhagavan. So I have to discover the infallible as Bhagavan, starting with my own parentage, starting with my own karmic trajectory. I have to discover the infallible as Bhagavan, and in this discovery I am transformed to finally let go of the crutches. Na idam yadidam upasate. This is not a criticism of worship, but it is showing the culmination of worship. What happens when you worship sincerely, all the issues go away, and then one is ready to give this up. One is ready to give this up. And so, give this up not because one is sick of it, but give this up in the light of the knowledge that the observer and the observed, the worshipper and the worshipped are but one consciousness. That is what the beauty of it. Give up doesn't mean, oh, I refuse to enter the temple at any given point of time. Why? I am a jnani. Look at me. I'm not going to the temple. That's not the idea. You may still go. But the form of worship is entirely different from the desperate devotee that one was many years ago. There is an evolution, and that evolution is evolving into this oneness of that underlies the worshipper and the worshipped. And so that which is not an object of the eyes, and because of which the eyes can see, know that to be Brahman, know that to be you. Brahman, not that which is worshipped. Next one. Yat shrotrena na shrinoti yena shrotram idam shrutam tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate. Yeah, these two, this Shrotra and Chakshu, Shrotram and Chakshu has to be repeated again twice in this because sometimes people think Brahman is in the form of blue light. There is something called Neela Bindu Upanishad, and there a meditation is given visualizing blue light, yellow light. And so therefore, sometimes the people in the world take the meditation to be the object of meditation and say, Brahman, if you see blue light, you have seen Brahman. And then all the people who are not honest with themselves will say, yes, 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 I saw blue light. And the few honest people will say, what's wrong with me? Why can't I see Brahman in the form of blue light? Whatever you see is not Brahman. That's why yad chakshusha na pashyati. And the next one, yash shrotrena shrotrena na shrinoti. And here also, the thing is, people say Brahman is unheard sound. Is there such a thing called unheard sound? I thought it's called silence. But anyhow, they say it is called anahata. In deep states of meditation, you hear a sound, and that sound is what? Brahman. Pujya Swamiji used to say, in meditation, if you hear any sound, it is digestive juices adjusting themselves. Gudu 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 gudu, kuru 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 kuru. That's all it is. It cannot be Brahman. Anything you objectify with the ears absolutely cannot be Brahman. Yena shrotram idam shrutam. Anything to be heard is, I say this is heard. Because of which consciousness? Know that to be yourself. Know that to be Bhagavan, not the one that you worship at the altar. What you worship at the altar is also Bhagavan. But here you have to understand that. That understanding has to come. The whole Jagat is Bhagavan, not just one little photo or one little object that you put in a temple or put in the altar. The next one is also very nice, and the last one of this section. Yat pranena na praniti, yena pranah praniyate, tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate. That which is not yat pranena, that which is not by which the breath happens. Yena pranaha praniyate, by which the breath is breathed in and breathed out. That which nobody breathes. Consciousness is not the in-breath, is not the out-breath. And then consciousness is that because of which the breath is cognized. In meditation, when you observe the breath, the truth of the observer is consciousness. Truth of the breather is also consciousness. But here we are talking so that we can objectify the breath. It is very difficult to do because what do we think? We think, oh, if I don't breathe, I am dead. No. Consciousness is not dead. Consciousness is not in distress when the breath is disturbed. Body may be in distress, mind may be in distress, but not I. This is what has to be understood. Pranena na praniti. That which does not breathe through the breath. It does not need to breathe at all. Yena pranaha praniyate. Because of which the breathing in breath and out breath takes place. In Kenopanishad, in the second chapter, also, second chapter, second valli, second portion, there is a mantra. Na pranena na apanena martyo jivati kaschana itarena tu jivati yena ubhau yena etau upashritau. Beautiful mantra is there. Na pranena jivati martyah. This mortal is not kept alive by prana. In-breath, inhalation. Oh, then maybe I live through the out-breath. Na apanena tu jivati kaschana. Nobody lives because of out-breath, because of in-breath. So what is the source of that which is called life? That life-imparting principle is itara. Itara means anyaha. Something other than what is obvious, the breath, all the other bodily functions, etc., etc. Prana just means breath here, but all the other functions can also physiological functions, pancha pranatmakam, we can include. So it is not by that the person lives. Itarena tu jivati, lives by some other force. Yasmin, in which etau, these two, what these two? Prana and apana, upashritau, in which they take refuge. Prana becomes prana, inhalation becomes inhalation, because of which awareness, exhalation becomes exhalation, because of which awareness. That is the source of my life. That is what keeps me alive. That is the source of life, not the breathing. I don't need to breathe in order to be alive. That source is myself alone, in which both prana and apana take refuge. That mantra there shines a beautiful light on this. So then what else? Tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate iti purvavat. Just like what has gone before, we have seen all this in detail. And then tomorrow we'll embark on a very interesting section. A section where Vedanta quiz is given, and answers of the students to this quiz we can look at, because the teacher wants to now, having said this whole section, wants to test the knowledge of the students. Let us see how they perform. Are they better than all of us? Let us see. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Harihi Om.